Hello YouTube, it's Si here from Si Moto Photo. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going out on an adventure ride with a number of folks. We're going a little bit of roading, a little bit of off-roading. We're going to put this Scrambler 1200X through its paces, and I'll tell you what I think of this bike. Is it actually a Scrambler, and how does it compare to the previous model? So let's go and ride it. Let's go, man. We've got a load of bikes out today, man. Big turnout. Jerick on the Triumph Tiger 1200 Explorer. Right, let's go, man. Adventure time Sunday. Just love it. We try and do it 3-4 times a year actually, and this year we're going to try and do it a wee bit more than that because it's a fantastic day out. We do a little bit of road riding, a little bit of off-road riding, and we go grab ourselves a bacon butty at a little bothy, which is get a log fire, and it's brilliant at this time of year, and it's the log fire and the bothies are welcome stop for everybody, especially at this time of year when it's still just a little bit cold. So what we'll do is we'll check back in when we get near the off-road routes, and we'll let you see what this little beauty, the Scrambler 1200, is all about, and I'll give you my impressions after putting a few miles on it. So let's just get a ride of it and I'll catch you up with you soon, alright? Right, so what's the bike like compared to the old XC, I suppose you want to know? I'm going to be honest with you. The old XC, I actually preferred the 900 to ride to the 1200. I don't know what it was, I think it felt more balanced. I thought the 1200 was a little bit top heavy, and it felt a little bit awkward at times, I felt. Now, I know that'll be different for everybody, you know, that's everybody's got a different feel on a motorcycle, so you know what suits one doesn't suit another, but that's how I kind of felt on the bike. But this bike it's a lot lower down than the previous, you know, considerably lower down than the XC of old, and it feels to me more like a 900 to ride in terms of the balance of the bike, how it corners, you know, the feeling, the manoeuvrability of the bike. I just think it feels, you know, a little bit more 900 like, which is a good thing in my eyes, because as I say, I preferred that 900 to ride. The engine doesn't seem any different at all. If anything, it's maybe got slightly more grunt at the bottom end. I don't know if they've remapped that slightly just to give you some better low end grunt, but it's definitely got a wee bit more push at the bottom end. So to me it kind of feels like the 900, but just beefed up a bit. You know what they've done is they've brought this bike in, you know, more at a price point to suit more riders, to make it more affordable, and they've also made it more accessible given the lower seat height. I mean, you see this bike side to side with the XE, it is quite substantial, the difference when you look at them. It's really noticeable, the difference in height between the two bikes. Now I'm 6 foot, and when I'm sitting on the big XE, you know, I can feel the height of it. I'm not exactly totally flat-footed. I've got a little bit of a stretch on the bike, but it seems to be more neutral when you're sitting on the bike. For some reason, I feel the handlebars are back a wee bit compared to the last one, and I don't know if it's just my imagination, but it just feels like a nicer place to sit. This one's also got a bag, a luggage pack on the back, and it just fits nicely against my back. It's almost like a backrest. It's really comfortable to sit on. There's been a few extras added to this bike as well. We stuck fog lights on it. It's got a screen on it, a few other bits and pieces. But a lot of people ask me, what's the side mount exhaust like for heat? You know, with it being so high up under your thigh, what's it like? And it's about 6 degrees today, right? It's really cold, and it's actually quite nice, but Triumph have done a good job of managing that heat. It's not burning my leg, but I can feel a bit of heat coming up from it at the side. I don't know how that would be in a really stifling hot day, but today it's a blooming welcome addition, let me tell you. I love the styling in this bike. You know, the Scrambler style is pretty iconic. You know, I don't think anybody builds a Scrambler like Triumph do. It just looks really, really purposeful. And this bike is great for, you know, we're out today and I've got about 30 bikes out today, and there's lots of guys in adventure bikes and stuff. You know, they've got GSs and Tigers and, you know, all sorts of adventure bikes along with us. But, you know, there's lots of people that are not into that adventure bike look, and a bike like this will serve a purpose like an adventure bike will, in terms of, you know, where you can take it, taking it off-road, doing lots of different things with it. You know, a really sort of diverse motorcycle, but you're not getting that adventure bike look. You've got more of a kind of classic style, and that really appeals to some people. It's got a real distinct style, this Scrambler. It's a cool looking bike, there's no getting away from it, and because it's got that modern classic, you know, vibe about it, lots of people are interested in it, lots of people want to talk to you about it. I mean, you pull over at the side of the road, you're going to get, or you pull over into a car park or a bike mate, you know, you can be sure as anything, everyone's going to want to ask you about your bike. It's a great looking motorcycle and it's absolutely lovely to ride. They've changed the braking setup on it. It's now got Nissan brakes instead of Brembo brakes. Say that again. It's now got Nissan brakes instead of Brembo brakes. And to be honest with you, I can't tell the difference. They feel fantastic. You still get Brembo master cylinder and things like that on it as well, but the brakes are really good on the bike, so don't let the fact that the bike's not got Brembo brakes anymore put you off. I think Triumph looked at, you know, the previous model and the price point that it was at, and they looked at it and said, look, well, does it really need all this stuff? Does it really need, you know, Brembo Stylema brakes? Does it really need Öhlins suspension? And it doesn't. It really doesn't. The suspension that they've got on the bike is absolutely fine. It's got plenty of adjustability at the back. They've got really good feel. I was hauling up on them in the country roads back there and there was no problem with the brakes whatsoever. One of the things I would fit in this bike, I think, would be bar end mirrors. These little mirrors up here, they're not great, I have to be honest. I think one of the things I would change if it was my bike, a set of bar end mirrors on it, just to give you that sort of little bit of extra visibility. I've got a Scrambler in the shop just now with the bar ends on it, and it looks cool, and it also serves a better purpose than the ones that are there. So if you're going to get one of these, I would look at maybe getting a set of bar end mirrors on it. We have the new Scrambler 1200X, and I brought along the Scrambler 1200XC just to let you see the differences between the two. So there's quite a difference in height. Actually, there's a 20mm difference in height between the XC and the Scrambler 1200X. Now I was sitting in this bike today, and I'm totally flat-footed on the bike. I've got a 32-inch inside leg, and with this Scrambler X, I'm totally planted, both feet on the floor, no problem at all. And it's sort of now bridging that gap between the 900 and the 1200, whereas before, a lot of people found that 1200XC just a little bit too high. It's a really accessible height now, and the seat on it is super comfortable as well. It's got a liquid cooled, exact same engine, the 1200cc engine as the XC. It's a parallel twin engine. It's producing 90 PS or 89 brake horsepower, and the two of them are still exactly the same 110 Newton meters of torque. And I think that's the kind of key selling point of this 1200 engine. It's just how punchy it is, low down, bottom end and mid range. The grunt on it is absolutely phenomenal. They've changed the dashboard a little bit on it. They've got away from this cluster dash that was on the old one, and they went to a kind of more simple dash on the new one. So it's exactly the same dash that we've got on the Trident model. So the suspension's different on the new Scrambler 1200. The suspension that it's got now on it is Marzocchi's, and they've still got the piggyback set up on them. Is there a big difference between that and the Öhlins? Definitely not. I've been out riding it all day today, and I don't think there's much difference at all between that and the Öhlins suspension, to be honest. The front suspension is non-adjustable. Again, it's Marzocchi's suspension that's on the front. The brakes have been changed on the bike to Nissan brakes instead of the Brembo brakes. And today, while I've been using these brakes, again, you're using Brembo master cylinders. There is no difference in the braking that I can see. The modulation through the lever's fantastic, and the braking is, I found it brilliant actually. It's really, really good. So there is no real difference between that and the Brembo brakes, to be honest, in real world riding. You've got a 15 litre fuel tank in the bike, same as the old one, and there's a 2 kilogram saving over the weights of the bikes. That old bike's 230 kilograms, and this one has 220. The wheels are spoked on the bike, so which is great for doing the scrambling stuff that I was doing today, and they're actually tubeless as well. So, and the tyres that are fitted to the bike are Karoo Streets, so Metzler Karoo Streets, and today these were great off-road, really capable tyres, and they were actually really nice feeling on the road as well, so good tyres overall. So the bike's available in 3 colours. You get sapphire black, you get ash grey, which looks fantastic. I'll stick some pictures up on the screen like you see the bikes. And you also get carnival red. So some really cool colours. The ash grey in particular looks mega, I really like it. The bike's 11,895 and a couple £100 extra if you want one of the sort of ash grey or you want the carnival red. And that's a saving of about £800 from the old one, so it's a fairly chunky saving off the old bike. It's not often you see a new model coming out and it's actually less money, but I think Triumph have looked at what's important for this bike, and the important things for this bike was to make it accessible for more people, to make it lowered down so more people could get on it, bring the price point down to a point that was a little bit more affordable, and you know, and I think they've achieved a cracking package with this, to be honest. I enjoyed riding this better than I enjoyed riding the XC. I just find the XC a little bit clumsy when you're out and about on the road. I found this handled a little bit better with the centre of gravity being that wee bit lower, so overall it's a big thumbs up from me. Right, we're going to get a wee bit of off-roading on it, so let's see if this Scrambler can actually scramble. It's not a massively taxing section of off-road road, but let's see what this little bike's like on a kind of fire road or unkept road. Right up off the pegs, actually quite a nice position when you're off-road, when you're standing up. So the handlebars are at a nice height, and the pegs, because it's a parallel twin, it's very narrow at the waist, so you've got really good purchase on the bike at the tank here. And it's so much easier to manage than a big giant adventure bike actually. It's really nice. This is really nice. I love doing these types of things with the bikes. It's just something a wee bit different, off the beaten track. Just doing something that you wouldn't normally do. And when you've got a bike like this, you know, a Scrambler or an adventure bike or something like that, it just opens up a whole new world. You know, there's only so many times you can go out and blast around the roads without it getting a little bit boring. And having a bike like this just opens up a totally different avenue for you with your motorcycle. It's great. And you also get to see some really nice bits that you wouldn't normally get to see. Right, here we go, let's go and do a little bit of off-roading. We've got a great wee track that we use. It's like a little forestry trail. It gives you a good impression about how this wee bike handles off-road and does a bit of scrambling. So that track that we were on there is just like loose boulders and rubble and unkept road. But this one that we're coming up to here is more of a kind of off-road trail. So it'll give you a good impression of how this, or it'll give me a good impression what this little bike's like off-road, so I will let you know. This one's not got keyless start, which a lot of people will like, because I know that keyless start is a bit of a pain point for some people. You know, sometimes the batteries go flat in them and things like that. At least with this one, it's just a manual key, so it's no hassle. But one of the things that I think will surprise you about the parallel twin engine from Triumph is how smooth it is. It's such a refined engine. There's nothing agricultural about it at all. It's a really smooth, capable, punchy engine, and it sounds fantastic. A real cracker, a real gem. Right, here we go, off the beaten track. Magic. All the bikes out, fantastic. Right, here we go, out the seat, on the pegs. Just get a bit of better balance when you're doing some off-road. It just makes it easier to control the bike. The bike's really nice. I can't tell you how nice it is off-road. You know, as many of you know that watch the channel, I've got a big BMW GS, and I love doing stuff like this in the GS, but it's a bit of a handful, and the suspension on it's a bit ropey at the back. It's for forever bottoming out, but this is just munching this up, no bother at all. And because it's so light and nimble, it's so easy to manoeuvre. You know, it doesn't feel, it's not intimidating in the slightest. It's great tyres as well. fantastic grip actually for off-road, not a problem. I'm thoroughly enjoying this bike. I could see myself having one of these. Well, I know I say that about every bike. God, see if you could get away with it, you'd have a garage full of bikes. I'd have one of everything. That's the problem working in the bike industry. Because you get access to so many bikes and you run about in so many bikes, you ride bikes that you would never have thought that you would ride. And you know, every one you take out is just magic. Well, there you go, the Scrambler 1200X, can it scramble? Absolutely. Is it good? It's better than good, it's blooming awesome. What's this in front here? Oh man, I just love guys that just would eventually can use it a Bonneville. Well, there you go folks, Adventure Time Sunday on the Scrambler 1200X. I had a fantastic time actually, I really enjoyed getting out today. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If there's anything you want to know about the Scrambler 1200X, drop it in the comments section. As always, I'll answer all the comments in due course, so please bear with me if I don't answer them right away. And if you've enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. It makes a huge difference to me, and it gets the channel algorithm up and gets it out to more people. And thanks again for everyone who's bought me a coffee or who's donated some fuel using the link in the description box. If you feel you want to do that, please do so, feel free to do so, and if you don't, that's absolutely fine too. But please subscribe to the channel, give the video a like and drop your comments. But thanks for tuning in to Moto Photo. I look forward to seeing you next video. Take it easy, man.